you actually shifted allegiance from the opposition now to the NRM since you went into this agreement. Is it something you want to say that you have actually now shifted from paying allegiance to the larger opposition where you actually belong to the ruling party?
Two things we have to do in life. One, we need to respect people's opinion. What people want to say should be allowed to be said. The other thing that we need to do is to allow people to think, and think independently, and not try to confine them to a particular way of thinking. So I appreciate that different people are coming with different thoughts and saying all sort of things. It's okay. It is expected. It's not about allegiance. I look at leadership differently. I look at leadership as a responsibility. I don't look at leadership as a title or a position. Secondly, what I did within the time I was chairing this committee was to give a service to the country, not to a political party. I never produced my report to NUP, not to any party. A committee of parliament is mandated and has a responsibility to work in the interests of parliament, not in the interests of a political party. Now that is where people miss the point. So when somebody says allegiance, what kind of allegiance are we talking about? Number two, belonging to the opposition is by choice. There is no office in this country where you get accredited to be in the opposition. And because it is by choice, people should be allowed to make decisions. When I decided to join the FDC, from school, my first party after school was FDC. I had never joined another political party. I took a personal decision based on the situation, based on what was on the ground, how our people were suffering. And I thought that would be the platform to push and have my views. When I left FDC in 2020, I left FDC in good faith after having a lot of interactions with the leadership of FDC. Actually, on the last day I announced I was leaving FDC, we had we had a 2 days meeting with the leadership of the topmost leadership of FDC. I had a meeting with the Honorable Engineer Patrick Amorian. He was in Gulu. He invited me. I sat before him. We talked and invited a few elders, a few senior leaders of FDC. I expressed my opinion. And indeed, they agreed that those opinions were legitimate. Of course, there were issues that and the timing, we were going to nomination and all that, and I felt, well, I needed to leave. And I left in good faith. And I have continued to respect the leadership of FDC, because these are leaders we work with. So they're not enemies. There is no way I can begin to fight or disrespect. That was it. Now, if all those decisions, somebody has never been concerned, why the concern now? If when I was appointed by NUP, I accepted my own decision, nobody was concerned. If I am assigned by the NRM, why should somebody be concerned?
Well, your former colleague in FDC, Honorable Semuju Ibrahim Nganda, in Parliament then, he said you have been working with them in the opposition, doing parliamentary business. So he says, today you can't be opposition, today you can't work with the opposition, tomorrow you can't work with the NRM. And he made an argument saying that is the reason why if someone wants to shift maybe from one political party to the other, you need to wait for at least a year towards the end of your term.
My senior colleague, the Honorable Semuju, has a right to express his opinion. He has his views that he has to express. And I always see him doing it. I respect him. But you see, the Honorable Semuju cannot decide for me. He cannot think for me.